The very first Republican presidential debate of the election season takes place in Milwaukee when 8 candidates take the stage.
We now know not just who made the cut, but also where they'll stand on that stage. Governor Ron DeSantis and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy will be center stage.
But one candidate who qualified for the debate but won't be there is the current frontrunner by a wide margin, former President Donald Trump. Ari Height spoke with a local political science professor tonight to shed more light on that highly unusual factor in this political showdown. Ari?
Yeah, Todd, that expert I spoke to is Kevin Wagner. He's a professor of political science at Florida Atlantic University, and he says the debate is unusual not because of who will be there, but because of who will not be there. 8 candidates will take the stage in Milwaukee Wednesday night for a debate unlike any we've seen before.
It's probably becoming a bit tired to say these are unprecedented times, but these are unprecedented times.
Kevin Wagner is a political science professor at Florida Atlantic University. He says the goal of the candidates is to no longer just win the debate, but to also win social media after the debate.
The key is to stand out in that moment so that you can have something that has legs that's going to make your performance last a little longer than just in that particular day.
Wagner says that is particularly important for the lesser-known candidates. For people like Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, there's a third goal here.
He has to distinguish himself from the former president in a way that doesn't alienate the voters that support the former president. That's a needle that's been very difficult for any of these candidates to thread.
And the former president is what really makes this debate different. Donald Trump is the frontrunner by a wide margin and has said he will not attend, which Wagner understands, saying a bad debate could hurt him a lot more than a good debate would help.
So it's not surprising strategically, for candidates that are at the top of the heap not to want the debates. But it is relatively unusual that they can get away with not coming, though.
And Wagner says that makes the night that much more vital for the presidential hopefuls who are there.
This is going to be very, very important for many of the candidates. And if they can get to the point where they have, a substantial amount of support, then they can really get into the meat of this race.
And I asked Wagner about the idea of Donald Trump doing an interview that is expected to air at the same time as the debate, what he thinks the voters will think about that. Well, he told me the world of political science is about watching patterns from the past and using that to predict what will happen in the future. Nothing like this has ever happened before, so he says we will all have to learn together what the response will be from the voters. Reporting live, Ari Height, WPBF 25 News.